My name is Stephanie here with you in the Volume.com studio listening to WRLT Franklin, Nashville, Lightning 100. And right now, joined by a special guest here at Lightning 100, we've got Jim Keller with us live here in the studio. How are you doing today, Jim?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
I really appreciate you joining us. Looks like you made it in just before the rain hit.
Exactly.
And you're here in town playing a show tomorrow night at the 5 spot, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Got the early slot, which I was just telling you I am always into those early shows. But people might know your name better from Tommy Two-Tone, the song 8675309, which I was joking around with Jason from the morning show this morning that that song was on in my house so much when I was growing up that I think I memorized that phone number before our own home phone number.
My apologies.
Oh, no. I loved every second of it. It's great. But in addition to Tommy Two-Tone, you've put out 5 now, I think, solo albums, correct?
Yeah.
And this most recent one, Spark and Flame, just came out this past November. So how's it been having that out in the world?
I mean, anytime you make a record, if you're proud of it and you like it, it's always a wonderful process because you find people that gravitate towards it and that like it, and it's always gratifying. I mean, I think ultimately, I make the records for myself and the 12 musicians that I made it with. And if we entertain ourselves and we dig in and we really love something, then that's really the gift, is that we're kind of sharing in that. And then anything that happens beyond that is just gravy, really.
So if you're looking to entertain yourselves, create this for you guys, I imagine, you're doing this probably live, full band in a studio, not in pieces.
It varies.
Okay,
it varies.
yeah.
Sometimes it's absolutely the full band in a room. And then other times, this record was actually done in pieces. Very unusual for me, but I worked with a producer named Adam Minkoff, and we did do it in pieces. And it's just different.
Yeah.
It's still
fun. Was there a particular reason you do some in pieces and some not?
It was the idea. We cut it with me on acoustic guitar, Adam on bass, and a drummer named Yuval Lyon in Brooklyn. So it was literally a 3-piece. And then Adam had very expansive ideas for arrangements. So, with keyboards, horns, and a lot of stuff going on that was in his head. So the idea of bringing that all into a room and trying to do that while you're cutting the track made no sense. So we cut the live vocals and literally with a trio, and then we would run around to whoever had studio time and finish it.
Yeah. What is that like as the person who's writing these songs, and then you're kind of, not handing over full control, but you said a lot of this lived in Adam Minkoff's head. You have to really trust somebody to allow them to add all that on to what started as your vision?
It starts with the song. Everything starts with the song, and that's what I spend my life, looking at and being fascinated by. But then you surround yourself with talented people that you trust. I just did another record with Mitchell Froome out in L.A. and David Hidalgo. We had done one other with them. We just recorded another. And I trust Mitchell completely. His taste is so great, and he's just really smart. So you go into a room with someone like that, and there's just a common understanding that, we're all on the same page. And with Adam, it was the same thing. I trust him implicitly in terms of where he was going to take me somewhere I knew I was going to like going.
Yeah.
And it was completely true. And so I feel very fortunate because I have these different artists that I can work with that, we have that connection with.
It's nice. It sounds like they're kind of spread all over the country.
Well, the more, the merrier. I'm here in Nashville, and I'm playing the show on Saturdays with Audley Freed and Jen Gunderman from Cheryl's band, Sheryl Crow's band, and Billy Harvey's on the bill, who's from down here. So I'm bringing Adam down, and other Nashville players. So it's just, there's this wonderful world of great players all over the country, and I can literally go to any major music town and show up, and in one rehearsal we can play a great gig and have fun.
It's funny how the music community really feels like that. Even from my point of view, on the radio side, it does kind of start to feel like when you've been in it for even a few years, as long as I have, there's people everywhere. Anywhere you go, there's somebody that you're connected to in some way, and really, it's really beautiful
and really talented, supportive artists.
Yeah,
there's so many great players in that way.
Well, do you want to start us off with maybe a song from the new album?
Do a little soft thing. get up every morning, a day like any other day. But the heavens, they can split wide open, and everything can change. No one ever sees it coming. No heart could ever be so cold. And there is just no way to comprehend a world that's lost its soul. As the wind blows across the river and the rain beats down on the cobblestone, I can hear the angels calling from the bells at Notre Dame. Now the sunrise every morning and every evening that sun goes down. But today there's a child crying for his mother, and something lost that can't be found. As the wind blows across the river and the rain beats down on the cobblestone, I can hear the angels calling from the bells in Notre Dame. Across the ages, you can hear their voices when the bells are ringing. As the wind blows across the river and the rain beats down on the cobblestone, I can hear the angels calling from the bells at Notre Dame. Oh, from the bells at Notre Dame. From the bells in Notre Dame.
Lightning 100, that is Jim Keller live here in the volume.com studio. You can also catch this over on video at volume.com/lightning100, playing one from his most recent album, Spark and Flame, that just came out this past November, sounding so beautiful this morning. And I think for half of that song, we had the door to the studio open. I think we got some of the rain sounds from outside, so that actually worked really well with the song. Yeah. This is an old building. You can hear a lot in here. We have like a train tracks right behind you can hear sometimes. But yeah, tell me about that song and tell me about writing the album, because I know you co-wrote the whole album with Byron Isaacs.
Byron
Isaacs, my bad, sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
From who people might know from the Lumineers.
Yeah, Byron, he was Levon's bass player for years.
Oh, I didn't even realize that, actually.
Yeah. And he had a band called Ola Bella before that, but he's been with the Lumineers for years. But he has been like my songwriting partner for at least 15 years. And, it's just one of those wonderful things where he and I kind of discovered each other, and we live very near each other. And essentially, I'll start a song, and Byron will come over and almost act as an editor sometimes. Mm-hmm. And the thing that is so astonishing about songwriting to me, and it is a never-ending pool of, amazement, is that someone can come in, and in some cases, Byron will take one word, and he'll shift one word in a chorus or a verse or add one line, and it can be the difference really between a song being like, okay, great, another song, or a song that's actually pretty good, let alone good, which is impossible. And so he and I have that kind of relationship where it's completely trusting in each other, and we just throw stuff out, and he can toss a line in, and I joke about it because invariably it'll be like my favorite line in whatever the song is. But yeah, so he and I wrote all the songs on this record. One with Billy Harvey, but Byron, yeah, a lot of Byron.
Do you feel like that, getting that one word that takes it to pretty good, is that like what keeps you interested in songwriting? Like the puzzle of it?
You're absolutely right. It's a puzzle, and it's a magical puzzle. Because, when you're starting, you just pick up a guitar and you start strumming, and then a melody comes out, and then words come out. And then, the process is to get out of the way of whatever, the gods are giving you. Mm-hmm. And so when you're in a room and it actually like shifts up a notch because of some little thing that changes, it's really, like I said, it's just so special when that happens. And it's a joy. It's like a puzzle. It is like a puzzle.
It's so funny how many songwriters say, like, get out of the way and just, like, let it happen. Totally. Like, my fiance is a producer, and he worked for a long time with Tony Joe White at the end of his life. And he told me that Tony Joe used to always say he's never written a song in his life. He just, like, they just happen. They just come to him. And I always thought that was... Like, maybe that the first time I think I'd heard it was from him, but then since I've started this job and interviewing songwriters like you, it's so crazy how many people say that. And for somebody who's not a songwriter, it's almost hard to, like, wrap my head around it. But, I'm inclined to believe you all.
there are times to dig in and really work hard on lyrics and structure and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But when I have an original idea, if I'm not prepared that day to really be there for that thing, I don't touch it. Because I record everything on my iPhone, so I've, like, there it is. And if I hit something, but I'm not really in the right space to really get into it all the way, I won't touch it for months because I don't want to screw it up.
Right.
And I think that's what happens is if I try too hard at that time and I'm not really in the zone, then I run the risk of losing whatever that little spark was that was still there, just not fully unveiled yet.
And, like, you've been writing songs since, the late 70s, early 80s. Like, is this always how you've approached it, or is this something that you've learned over time?
Oh, I think it's kind of a stereotype thing to say as you get older, you find different joys in things. Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest difference for me is that my appreciation of music and of writing and of recording and of the musicians that I play with just grows the older I get, because it becomes more special and unique. I think when I was younger and in a pop band, you're just busy being a dumb pop band, and having a great time and writing some good songs and not really sitting back and going, wow, this is really unique that I'm sitting here with these people playing this music right now.
Yeah. I know we were kind of talking about that before we went on air about, just the, I don't know, how your perspective can shift over time with stuff like
totally.
That. Yeah.
Just the fact, like I was saying, is that to come to Nashville and play with these wonderful players who I know to very, some not well, and know that because of who they are and the nature of our musicianship, that we can go into a room, and it may not be exactly what I did in the last gig some other place with some other players, but it doesn't matter because these players are bringing something of themselves into that room, which then makes that unique. And that is, to me, a totally joyful process.
Yeah, it's almost more special that it's not going to be the same time to time. It's everyone gets to be its own piece.
Yeah.
So you are playing tomorrow night at the 5 Spot. Do you want to tell anybody or people about the show at all? Who's playing with you?
Well, it was an idea that Audley Freed and Billy Harvey and I had, because we were thinking, like, how do I get down here and play a gig? Yeah. And so they said, well, look, there's this club, and let's just book a night at this club and just come on down. And so Billy and I are going to share the bill. He'll play with me on some stuff as well. And then Audley and Jen and some other players will be the backup band for both of us. And so that was it. We kind of just said, let's throw a party.
Yeah.
And
the 5 Spot's great. It's such a fun spot. Yeah, there you go. It's such a fun place to play.
Yeah, the idea is to do this with the intent to do more.
That's great.
That's what it is. So,
I love that.
And it's such a great band. It's such great players. It's fun.
That's gonna be, and you're doing the early show. This is tomorrow night at the 5 Spot, 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. And I thought maybe before we send you on your way to keep enjoying Nashville, could you play us one more from your new album? You want to tell us about the song?
This song called Spark and Flame, and I wrote a trilogy of songs. This is going to get really boring to somebody about the same topic. Basically, it's about relationships, a little older in life in some respect, but you're not going to understand. It's just going to sound like a pop song. So here we go. Where's the sweetness that I once knew? The smile that lit the sky, the wonder in your eyes that I could see from across the room, from across the room. Ah, where's the spark? Ah, where's the flame? Ah, where's the spark that lit the flame? I don't want to fight anymore. Don't want to sleep on the floor. So tell me what to do to bring the sweetness back that I once knew, that I once knew. Ah, where's the spark? Ah, where's the flame? Ah, where's the spark that lit the flame? Where's the spark? Ah, where's the flame? Ah, where's the spark that lit the flame?
Lightning 100, Jim Keller live here in the Volume.com studio. You can see him playing that one tomorrow night out at the 5 Spot, 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. with Billy Harvey sharing the bill on that one. And thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you get to, are you going to be sticking around Nashville for a while after the show, or you got to go straight back home?
Back on Sunday.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. But I've been here for a few days.
Okay, good. Well, at least you're here for some good weather. It's been
good weather. It's about to pour.
Well, okay. Well, I guess the weekend is supposed to be nicer. I guess it is actually actively pouring. You're right about that. But thank you so much, Jim Keller. Again, don't miss the show tomorrow night at the 5 Spot, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I thought we could go out with the song that you co-wrote for Tommy Two Tone. Right. It's 8675309 on Lightning 100.